This is our Unconstitutional Awakening program.
Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
Brought to you by KD Consulting Redesigned.
Ahoy there, mateys. It's time to set sail on another episode of Unconstitutional Awakening, the podcast. I'm your host, Jim Bob Ovalshorts, and tonight we have some very special guests joining us who happen to run their own podcast as well, the False Reality Podcast. There are a couple folks who left city life and went out and started homesteading and have been sharing their adventures about it along the way. And, I think that's something that I definitely advocate for as well, being somebody that's pro self-sufficiency. And I think it'd be great to conversate with them about their trials and tribulations and what's worked and what hasn't worked. And, maybe encourage somebody else out there to give up on being an NPC and get themselves out of the matrix and go live and enjoy their life like I do, and even Bandit does over here. Bandit's got his whole thing going on being a urban homesteader. Like, he's got a lot of cool things going on with that. But all in all, I feel that there are many things that you and I are capable of. And if we just put our mind to it, you would see that you can do a lot more for yourself without the needs of giant corporations and, large chain stores and stuff to fulfill your needs. A couple chickens, a hog, a few dairy goats might bring you a long way. That's something I can say from personal experience. Because again, this is the kind of stuff that I'm into and that I like to encourage for you and everyone else out there to try to do, because the biggest thing we can do is to become self-sufficient. But with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's episode. And of course, when the episode's over, you guys can just hop on over to the app you're using or even over to your favorite place, unconstitutionalawakening.com, where's the home for everything that you hear on this podcast. We'll have links and everything for the folks over there with the False Reality Podcast so that you can get back and check out their stuff and, maybe learn some more than you'll learn just on this one episode with me this evening. Of course, we'll have all those links over there in the podcast and more section underneath the Unconstitutional Awakening podcast. There's also other things you can check out in there from all your favorite hosts and, and other places that you can watch us on other shows and watch me on my other show on Saturday nights over there on the Red Pill Project. There's good links to all that stuff, man, right back over there. Like I said, again, right back over there at unconstitutionalawakening.com. Of course, there's links to get back to Rumble, Odyssey, and BitChute. There's even a link to get back to our YouTube channel. You can find us at YouTube with the / Unconstitutional Awakening. And we've also got links to get back to where you can listen to us, as well as just listen to us right there on the website. There's also links to get you some of the sweet Unconstitutional Awakening merch. You want to get yourself a Freedom Pirate flag or a UA t-shirt or a UA the podcast t-shirt, man. You can get all that stuff, hats, stickers, notebook covers, man. There's all kinds of good stuff over there. Just go check it out, man. See if there's something you can find yourself. Be real good to help support the show so we can keep on going for you guys. As well as checking out our friends in Liberty out there. KirkElliottPhD.com /Jim Bob, Peachy Key Creations over there at Facebook and Etsy, Ammo Can Survival over there on Instagram, and classicallearner.com with Brett Pike and Homeschools Connected and the Cubs to Bears books. These are all fantabulous people out there trying to do an alternative to your already everyday basic needs, man. And these guys are true people out there just looking to help other folks like you and myself and the folks that we have on the show this evening. And then I've also got this thing that I've been doing for Jason Christoffs because he's recruiting for his little success out of self-sabotage program that he's got going on. So there will be links for that as well. You guys can get over there and check that out. Jason Christoffs, a very smart guy, man. He's done some really good documentaries and stuff and does a lot about fighting for your freedom, just like we're over here trying to do, man. So, once again, I can't say thank you enough to everybody that's out there watching and listening worldwide. That's so amazing to me every single time that I see it and say it. So thank you so, so much for keeping us going and keeping this thing moving. So I guess with all that, man, let's just go on ahead and get into this one. And how is everyone doing this evening? As you can see, Bandit has joined me tonight, and these guys are the folks I was telling you guys about, Legs and Buffalo. Like, I'm really looking forward to this conversation. So how are you guys doing this evening over there where y'all are at?
Oh, we're fantastic.
Pretty good. Staying toasty.
Beautiful winter evening, even though it's technically, I guess, still fall. Winter. It's been winter since probably, mid-September? I don't remember when the snow hit.
Probably.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
We had 2 weeks of summer.
No, we didn't. We had more than that, but it was it went by pretty quick, let me tell you. But we're cozy.
Where exactly are you guys located out of now?
We are in southeast Idaho,
oh, okay.
like maybe 20 minutes from the Utah border.
All right. Yeah, so it's definitely already snowing out there where you guys are at. See, where I'm at, I'm still in shorts.
That's not fair.
Yeah, it's crazy because this time last year there was no snow on the ground. It was cold, maybe in the high 40s, but for the most part the snow didn't hit till around Christmas, and even then it didn't stick. It sticks and February hits and the snow will be there for good. But yeah, the snow that came this past few months, it's been sticking pretty good.
Yeah. But see where I'm at. If we do get any kind of snow or ice, it'll be between now and the end of February, because by the second week of March, I'll be back in shorts.
Damn. Yeah.
We came from that.
We wore shorts all the time. We were in California.
Oh.
So it was perfect.
We were born and raised in Southern California.
Oh,
so
my.
it is a complete difference.
That is a life shocking. And on the opening segment of the show thing, when I was announcing, who my guest was this evening, I had said that from, off your guys' website and stuff, how you guys had just left the city life and decided to go into doing the homesteading and stuff like that. If you don't mind, would you mind telling my listeners a little bit about that story?
Yeah. So it kind of had to do with the events that we all kind of went through, the giant MK Ultra of COVID. And we both we were supposed to get the shot to keep working, and she wasn't going to get it. I wasn't going to get it. For your circumstance, yours was a lot more hostile than mine. Mine was not as bad as yours.
It was just this giant buildup, when that day in March hit and they told everyone to go home, to work at home, and the grocery stores closed. We all remember what happened, where we were when that announcement happened. Ever since then, the job just slowly, me wanting to be there and be around these people that just succumbed to these roles without even thinking first if they made sense or not, just to keep this stupid job at this corporation that doesn't give a crap about you. Just this buildup until finally just this explosion happened, and it was just like, I'm done. I can't work with you people anymore. You freaking soy boys don't give a shit about anything. I couldn't take it. And it was a blessing in disguise when I saw that email about get the shot or
don't work here
or perish from the company.
I've actually heard kind of similar stories with a lot of people that I've talked to between on here and in real life. We had a lot of the similar stuff. I actually lost my job back when they first started with the masks because at the time I was a mechanic, and I caused a hell of a scene inside of the Nissan that I was at, to the point that it actually shut the company down for 3 extra days because they were waiting on me to make a decision. And I was like, no. I was like, I'm not putting a muzzle on my face. You guys know how I feel about all this. You guys heard me when it all first started being a worrisome thing. I was like, are we really going to fall for Ebola 2.0? I mean, it's I was like, how many scares have we all lived through or heard about different things on the news growing up and stuff like that, oh, this disease is going to wreak havoc. So my brain was just like, it'll go away in like 2 weeks. But of course, it went into a complete chaos ordeal. And I was actually, for the longest time, I was selling boiled peanuts on the side of the road where I'm at, instead of going to regular work. And I was just like, no, I'm still going to continue to make money my way. Like, I'm not going to wear a mask for anybody. And I just got lucky, and somebody sought me out and was like, hey, you're this appliance guy I've heard of. And I'm like, no, I'm not. And he's just like, I want you to come to work for me. And I was like, you can't afford me. And some negotiating a little way down the road, and he was able to work it out. And I can say I'm happy now. But he doesn't make me go through all that nonsense. Like, he doesn't believe in it either. He's a farmer himself. He does horse farming and actually checks out the show. So hey, Matt. But he he's big into that kind of stuff too. And me and him were like, what are you talking about? We deal with animals on a day in and day out basis. Of course we're not sick. Like, we'd literally play in pig shit and hug on goats and play in chicken crap all day. I promise you, it makes you have a different level of immune system.
Yeah, I think you are right about that for sure. It's been crazy. Go ahead. Sorry.
No. How was your spill there, Buffalo? Bandit, I'm having trouble hearing you.
I had a question for both of you.
Oh,
Up there.
question?
What are your political? How do you align yourself politically?
Oh man. You go ahead.
Because
my viewpoint is, sorry, go ahead.
Being homesteaders, everybody makes assumptions right off the bat. Saying that you live outside the corporate world, you gave up the city life. So they'll automatically assume like you're like libertarian, voluntarist, anarchist. So,
I mean, I guess if you had to put a label on it, anarchist. But for me, I just leave me alone and let me live my life, and I'll be good to you if you're good.
So you'll fit in right here with those pirates, because that's what we kind of got going on over here.
I think so. Yeah, just
agorist anarchist.
If we didn't have government, that's fine. Like we don't need it.
It shouldn't exist.
We like the scary word because we all relate to the big scary A word, that everybody's so terrified of.
It's really difficult to get the stigma of like every time you mention like I'm an anarchist, everybody automatically assumes, oh, you're for lawlessness and watching the country burn down and stuff like that. And what I really want to
just the government building.
I wouldn't care, but we can. It's easier to explain to people that if they don't know what the true meaning of anarchism is, to just go ahead and say volunteerism, I guess. But,
yeah, I would say that I don't go with the libertarian thing anymore. It's linked to too much autism, so I leave it be.
Yeah,
listen,
I
drag libertarians online just as quick as I'll drag a Republican or a Democrat. Heck, I even go after anarchists sometimes just because I hear them say backwards things, and I'm just that's kind of why we started running, or at least me, and then I got the rest of the crew to join on in my nonsense. But I started running with the pirate thing. It just kind of happened, and I was just like, you know what, I can run with that because I don't know. Pirate seems more friendly of a word than anarchist for some reason. Like, even though I view them as like an equal level. When I tell people I'm a pirate, they're like, wait a minute, what? You're a pirate? And I'm like, fuck yeah, bro, I'm a pirate. Like, what's up?
Oh my God, they're
So-
probably like, this guy's crazy.
Yes.
Getting back into the discussion, because this is always something that really like I always like to jump in when I have like stuff to input on a subject, which is very rarely. So when you guys said like homesteading, are you guys like completely running self-sufficient?
No, I don't think anybody is like 100% self-sufficient because you got to be
Or as
not
close
connected
as
to
possible,
anything.
Or
Yeah.
as close as possible.
I would
Yeah,
say we're moderately. We're not all the way because we're still really ingrained into the community.
Right.
Here.
We live in a very small community of maybe right now, maybe 200, 300 people. So having that alone is huge. We know where our water source comes from. It comes from the creek that's literally right down the street from us. So that's where we get our water. There's one cell tower in town.
Unfortunately.
But who cares? Because I put some orgone around that baby. It's not doing anything.
Somewhat.
Yeah.
Nobody can completely go off grid anymore. When you say like, oh, I'm completely off grid, but then you see them making TikTok videos the next day. Yeah, sorry. You're really not. But I think anybody that really goes off grid still stays connected because they want to get their message out. They want to get their message out and show their progress and show that it's like, hey, I can do it. So can you. And to, stay connected with your community, because everybody automatically makes the assumption like, hey, you go off grid, that means you're going to go live by yourself. You want to have a strong community, even, you want to have a strong community, no matter how small it is, because those are the people, when stuff goes down, those are the people that are going to be there helping you. You're going to have to trade with them. You're going to have to, barter with them and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly where we live. The type of people so it's a very highly concentrated Mormon community. Mormons and preppers are very in line with thinking for each other.
Y'all are up there near a regular show guest of mine, actually.
Oh,
Carson lives in that area.
Idaho. Awesome. Yeah. All right.
Oh, in Southeast Idaho?
He's out there in the sticks somewhere. He's always talking about the Mormon folks out there. So
oh, yeah, there's a shitload of Mormons.
Yeah, the whole state.
Yeah.
I think he's in Central, but no, that'd be interesting to get a hold of him and find out.
So, I mean, he's at my beck and call.
What did it for you? Your half explained her situation, why what made you want to leave the corporate grind of California and do a 180?
I wasn't happy with our life. We had already kind of started the homesteading thing with urban gardening, and then we were getting all our fruits and vegetables from like the local farms around us. We were getting our chicken from local chicken farm, eggs from the same source. Yes. And I wasn't happy. My job was going to make me get vaccinated to continue working, even though I work from home. I mean, I normally work from home. It's just, I never see anybody. I wouldn't even live close enough to go to a building if I had to report to a building. So they were going to transfer my job with me. And since none of us were really happy and the opportunity to come here, we kind of had to take a leap of faith. I mean, this is literally the trailer that my parents started in when they first got married. We're in it now. And so the conditions weren't great. We were kind of crammed all together, but now that it's just the two of us and a dog, I mean, we've changed so much and we've created so much joy in our own life. Like, we fucking love our chickens. Like that alone, just having the chickens grown, that makes me so happy. And
chickens are the best.
Going in this direction. I love chicken.
Are you good at chicken math like I am? 1 + 6 + 32. Next thing you know, there's 100 chickens running around.
I'm on the way.
We're on the way. We're not quite there just yet.
You'll find it every breed of chickens that lays a different colored egg, and you're like, I got to get 2 of those, and then you end up with 4 of them.
Yep.
Yeah,
Or you decide that you're like, well, hey, I need to make my own color of eggs, because there is only so many different colors out there. And I was like, I was determined, and I haven't succeeded, but I was determined to take a pink laying chicken egg and cross it with a blue laying chicken egg and hope that I came out with a purple egg. But
Nice.
but no luck so far. So
they give sort of like a pastel purple.
there's also a breed of Wyandotte that lays pink eggs.
Oh.
They're like a salmon color actually, and I was just like, I bet I could make it happen, but no luck. So maybe one day. But I will say, when you get to about 40 or 50 chickens, you notice a big difference in the mosquito population in your yard. Like it drops tremendously. Like you'll just be sitting there and be like, well, where'd all the mosquitoes go? Because out here in my end of the sticks, like we're in the woods, we're near the river. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all dense forest around here, and mosquito population.
They turn more ground than like they'll turn your yard. Like,
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's why mine run around free.
If you do compost gardening.
Oh yeah.
What they will do is you bury the chicken food each day in the compost, and let the chickens go in the compost, and the chickens will turn the compost for you to get to their food.
Oh shit, that's a good idea.
I've heard of that. That is such a good idea. We haven't started a compost pile here.
It's too cold.
Because it's so cold and
worms.
We do have great worms here.
Yeah.
I've again, being in the South and fishing on a regular, you come home from fishing and you still got a can of worms left, and you just walk over there and pour them in your compost pile because it speeds up the compost process. And
Nice.
and when you have a butt ton of chickens and goats and hog pens that you clean out on top of just putting regular stuff into a compost pile, you get what they call in the farming community out this way, what they call black gold, because it makes such a pretty manure compost that like you can just walk over there and plant something in it and it's going to grow. Like,
oh damn.
Yeah.
Because there's just so much good stuff in there.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, the yard is going to be, come spring and summer, the yard is going to be amazing this go.
What is your arable land like in Idaho where you're at? Is it good for like garden? Is it good for gardens, good for farming, stuff like that?
I would say so.
Yeah.
I mean,
once the frost is gone.
Yeah, and you know what to grow, and 'cause certain things just they don't work up here. Like any kind of pepper, it's really hard to grow outside. You need a greenhouse, and a lot of folks here have greenhouses because of just the short growing season alone. But if you know what to grow and where to put it, yeah, the soil here is very good. We have a lot of worms. I noticed.
And the soil has that sweet, like perfect earth smell. It's black. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh man. Potatoes are always a go-to. I mean, me and Bandit make that joke all the time, but you can grow potatoes anywhere.
Wow.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, we are in the potato state.
Idaho.
Right. Yeah. And then like we were mentioning my buddy Carson earlier. He's big into the hunting scene. So like he does a lot. He's always keeping me up with a lot of the hunting that he's got going on. In fact, he's sending me pictures as we're speaking of his duck hunt from from yesterday, or I guess. And he's in the southwest part of Idaho.
Oh, wow. So he's on the opposite side. Okay. Yeah.
So
nice.
he's he's up there in it too, and that there's a place. Let's see. There's a place up in that area. I want to say it's a little town up on the north side called Crow's Heart.
Ooh.
That I've always been infatuated with because it's only got a population of 45.
Yeah,
Interesting.
maybe we should move there.
and like it's all in the mountainous area or whatever, so it's on the face of mountains and stuff. But I guess it's a whole lot of nothing and like a one little strip of a few things as far as the fire department and stuff like that. I'm just like, I could disappear there.
Oh, fascinating.
You'd never see me again. Like I try my best now, but you'd never see me again if I was able to get myself out to an area like that. Like it'd be on, because I know there's just a lot of open land out in y'all's area.
Oh, there is. Oh, yeah.
There is. Prices are just still pretty high right now.
So did you guys grow up in households that like you would say instilled like skills for this kind of thing, that prepared you for this kind of thing? Or was this kind of just like a jump out there and let's just do this and we'll kind of go, we'll wing it?
Definitely winging it, learning as we go. There's some skills that I acquired from grandparents, growing certain things. My grandma's really good with just growing anything and bringing it back to life. She's the best at that. But as far as like animal husbandry, oh man, we're just learning as we go with that stuff.
I mean, my grandpa was a farmer.
Yeah. Yeah, his family.
Yeah, my grandpa was a farmer. This land was his land at some point, and so he had a very good knack for animal husbandry. He didn't really teach me any of that kind of stuff because he was getting rid of the farm when I was younger. But I like to think that I'm a chicken whisperer. I can talk to them.
He is. Yeah, but these skills like I said, we're just learning as we go, and thank goodness we have amazing neighbors in a community that kind of knows some of these things, and we can pick their brains about it and just get the help that we need. And it's no better way to learn than to just do it.
Yeah.
Instead of just what's the term when you research too much?
Oh, paralysis analysis. Yeah. No.
Now analysis paralysis.
Analysis paralysis. Yeah, I said it backwards. My bad.
Just get out and do it.
Sorry, Bandit. I thought you were going to say something, and before you had started to talk, you were just kind of low again.
No, I'm good.
No. So I guess when you're speaking animal husbandry, of course I understand it, but if you would like to make somebody familiar with what you're trying to speak on, that's listening to the show that probably has no idea with what you're talking about there.
Yeah. So animal husbandry to me, it has anything to do with maintaining or managing a flock or a herd, depending on what type of animals you have. So whether you have chickens, it's a flock. If you have some goats or lamb, it's a herd. And it's basically learning how to manage them, take care of them, feed them, ensure their safety, protect them. Being a farmer of animals, essentially, instead of growing food, you're growing meat.
So you said you have chickens now. Do you have anything else or any plans for anything else?
Oh boy,
we do have plans. Definitely.
I have lots of plans.
He has lots of plans. But right for now, we started with chickens because that's like the basic thing to start with. It's easy.
It's a great place to start, and they are.
You might as well not even like branch off into anything else.
Facts.
Chickens can almost take care of themselves. Almost.
I had so many running around at one point in time. Like there was over 100 of them because I was not only was I getting my own, but I was taking in other chickens. Listen, you ever want some free animals? Put yourself up a ad on Craigslist that you will take in rescue animals, farm animals.
Oh my gosh.
And you will just get animals thrown at you. Like I ended up with pigs. I ended up with goats. I ended up with rabbits.
I see the wheels turning right now.
Yeah.
Like,
because people are always
shit.
people are always getting rid of them.
Yeah. Or Facebook Marketplace. Put yourself up on Facebook Marketplace. There are numerous groups on Facebook for rescue animals, for rescue farm animals, and people are always rehoming animals for free because some have that's how we got our ducks.
Mm-hmm.
Our ducks were free, but a really sad story free. People will drop them off, but you have to be careful because sometimes people will dump like 20 animals on you at once.
They will. And
Oh,
that's you'll go from having, maybe 40, 50 chickens to a dude showing up in a truck, and when he lifts the door, another 50 chickens come running out, and you're like, holy shit, dude, I didn't realize you were bringing me that many chickens. And then on top of that, my cousin passed, and his widow called me and was like, hey, I'm done with all these chickens, do you want to come get them? And I was like, sure. And I thought she had 2 or 3 chickens, and I showed up and it was like another 25 chickens, and I was just like, shit. I was like, my wife's gonna kill me when I get home with all these chickens. She didn't, though. She was super happy with me, and it makes good because there was plenty to cycle through, you know what I'm saying, like plenty to put in the freezer, plenty to keep going. And then I'll tell you now, if you get into hogs, be prepared. And when I say be prepared, I mean they will get out. I don't care if you think you built something good. No, they're gonna get out. So the best thing that I learned with them was training. It was food training them, and they were familiar with their feed bucket. They had a specific feed bucket. So when they did get out, I got a little more lenient and would be like, they'll go up here in just a little bit. Let them venture. They're just going to stay in the main yard. They just got out of their pen. Because I was always worried about the neighbors wanting to shoot them and stuff like that. But because I live near a bunch of rednecks, and they're going to see a hog out in the woods. They're going to be like, hey, that might be a wild hog. And they're just going to shoot it. And then I'm like, damn it, I lost one. And it's just, it's a thing that could happen. So, I did worry about it for the most part, but now they're the most successful thing that I found that slows them down was literally building a pallet fence. I took a bunch of pallets and butted them, and I added this to an existing fence and did it on both sides, and it slowed it down. They still occasionally get out because they'll find that one weak board, and when they find the weak board, they can make their way through. But it slowed it way down. And goats are assholes. They're great, but they're assholes. They're complete. They want to be in your business, even though they have no business in your business. They can have the biggest mound of hay and all the treats in the world, and they're still going to walk up on your back porch and climb up on your back porch dining table that you have and lay on top of it and stare at you. Yes, this is personal experience.
I know goats are assholes. I got in a fight with one. I have a vendetta against this goat.
Me and one that I bottle raised spar. I took a refrigerator handle and modified it to wear across my arm, and we get out there and he headbutts that and I fight back with my arm. So yes, I know they're
Awesome.
They're complete jerks sometimes, but they're so sweet. To be real with you, but the little ones like that, they'll come and sit in your lap or hug up against you or whatever. Of all the goats that I've dealt with, I've only had one that never really cared for me, and she didn't care for me from the day that I got her. So I don't know what the humans prior to me did to her. Because again, it was one of those situations where you put that advertisement up there and people are going to start calling you. They're going to be like, hey, do you got room to take this? Whoa, hold on a minute. I do not need a bull. I don't have room for that. Sorry, bud. Oh, well, I was going to give them to you. No, I'm good, bud. I definitely don't have room for them.
Shit.
You have to have more land when you start getting into any type of cattle. You have to have 1 acre per cow. If you're grazing, you have to have 1 acre. So everything minus cattle, you can do on a small farm. And cattle really doesn't work well with anything else in the pen with it. You can pretty much cohabitate different animals together, except with cattle.
I've seen some pretty mean donkeys in my life.
Yes. But that's okay though. You can train donkeys to be like guard dogs almost. In the same way, believe it or You can do alpacas and llamas the same way. You can actually train them to attack.
I mean, my dream, buddy, you've heard me talk about this before, is I need to get a fleet of emu because, then I can stop at least the Australian government. So we'll be all right.
Oh my God. They're so cute, though.
Aren't they?
They seem like they'd fuck you up, though.
They will.
Those feet.
They're like ostriches almost,
Oh my gosh. I don't think we have seen any of those around here.
No, it's too cold here.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
It's mostly just cows up here and
Sheep.
a lot of wild animals, though.
Yeah.
We got tons of deer, moose, there's elk, turkey.
Mountain lion.
The
occasional bear.
We'll never go hungry. That's
No.
for sure.
Oh, that's a plus. I mean, that because that's something that a lot of people, I think that's a lot of people's first fear when going into a situation like homesteading or something like that, or just in general. Like a lot of people that I talk to, that's the first thing you hear about is how will I eat? And as somebody that's dealt with things before and met people that aren't even doing this, they're just doing like car living. Once you see that you'll definitely eat every day, no matter what. Like I promise you'll always eat. There's always a way to find something to eat. So like, I don't know. I try to encourage people to put the food aspect back into your mind and start learning some new skills because you're about to be able to make your own food like from start to finish. And I think that to me, that's like the best part. I mean, you spend all late winter on my end, early spring trying to get things planted and going. So that shoot, by the time April comes around, you've already got berries. So, it works out nice. We've definitely got a longer growing season down here, and it's common to see a lot of winter growing down here. There's a lot of greenhouses.
I'm making an attempt.
You're doing it too.
For a garden. It's hit or miss. I don't know. I'm kind of like, I'm at the experimental stage to see what I can grow and what works here in the wintertime. But also at the same time, I'm seeing what I can grow based strictly on rainfall without watering it myself in the wintertime. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
If you just plant some garlic and potatoes, you'll be good come spring.
Cabbage.
That's true.
And spinach.
Okay, cabbage and spinach.
I didn't get any garlic in. No garlic. Potatoes.
It might be too late up there where you are. The ground's probably frozen already.
Here?
Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah. No.
You got a little bit left. A little bit.
I'm tempted to go get in the river this weekend because it's supposed to be like 65.
Dude.
So
What the?
It was-
Shit.
Y'all need to stop.
It was in the low 40s today. And that's where it's going to stay now until snow, ice here in about 2 weeks, probably. Unfortunately.
We're supposed to get some snow tomorrow night or tomorrow afternoon.
Tonight through till 5 o'clock on Friday.
Never mind.
We're not quite to that point yet, but I'm dreading it. It's the older you get, the more you dread the cold weather.
I did a stint in Buffalo, Denver, and a few months in Alaska when I was a kid, and I'm good on the cold. Like, man, I work 3 miles from my house in Buffalo, and city life, you guys are probably familiar with it, is a lot different. 3 miles, that's a decent afternoon walk to go to work.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's not too bad. And I would walk to work most of the time. That first winter I was up there, and I'm a little guy. Like, and when I say I'm a little guy, like there's pictures of me. You can see I'm kind of short. I'm little tiny fellow, and the snow would be above my head. You wouldn't even see me trudging through the trail that somebody had dug. And I'm just like, what am I doing? I can't do this. Like, no, like.
Because I'm in Kentucky, he's in Georgia. We have actually met a couple of times. I've gone down there a couple of times, and
he went down the river with me
just to make sure. I had to do this just to make sure he wasn't a Fed.
Same thing. Yeah.
Up, and one of the other co-hosts on here was actually there, and we met. So the only people that there's the weirdo up in New York City and the weirdo over in Cali are the big city folk that we haven't, us country people haven't met up with yet. But we're working on it. It will be quite the feat to get us all together, but it might try.
Oh, we're gonna work it out one day.
You should meet in the middle of the country somewhere, or like right in where would it even be in between, like Missouri somewhere for all of you guys?
That's what
I'm good.
I think we actually mentioned. I mentioned a while ago that is actually where like the middle meetup spot between all of us would be, where it would be like Missouri, Arkansas, Oklahoma, like right up the middle.
Oh shit!
Wow.
Oklahoma sounds terrible.
It is I've been there a couple of times, and it is terrible. It really is terrible.
What is so bad about it?
Isn't that where? Hey Jimmy, isn't that where Steven lives?
It is.
What's so bad about Oklahoma?
There's nothing. There's nothing there.
Oh.
They have wheat.
That is not the place that you want to be. Maybe except the not even the Panhandle. I don't think.
You should just go to Texas.
This was from our friends meetup. As I said, I'm a tiny little guy. So, and yes, I do wear funny socks, shorts, and cowboy boots almost year round.
I love it. I dig it. I dig your style, man.
Appreciate it. Something rang well with me, and when I was on your website and hanging out on your page and stuff, that I really kind of relate back to, and it was where you guys were talking about how you chose your names and stuff like that. And I was just like, I like that. Like, I like how you're, why not choose your own everything? And I'm just a bold little dude that seriously walks around like this in real life, and people are just like Luis, which is our guy in New York, he calls it peacocking, and I'm just like, dude, I'm not peacocking. Like, this is literally just me. I'm trying to break the system. When you see a weird short little gremlin fellow running around in a pirate hat and cowboy boots, you get noticed, and you stop the system for a second, because people are like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what just walked by me?
Yeah, that's why Vermin Supreme wears a boot on his head, right?
He's a good guy. Hey, I like Vermin.
He's a very nice guy.
He really is in real life. Yeah, like he's there's a whole show aspect to him, and his handlers.
I think that's what
politically make him look.
I think it's a
interesting
show. I don't know if
but him himself. Oh man, him himself is an old kickback, real deal hippie. Like, you want to find a leftover hippie, it's Vermin. Like, but I love the aspect that he does. I've always loved how he politically satires the satire that's in the political world that there is today. Like,
he shows it for the show. It really is, though. I mean, as ridiculous as it really is, he shows politics for the clown show. It really is, I think that's what makes him genuine in some aspect. But yeah, I didn't know we were going to get into politics, but that could be all.
Oh, I mean, you never know. With us, it'll drift just about anywhere. Like,
it really does, whether you want to admit it or not. Like, politics does have a play in our daily life.
Sure.
Regardless of what your, political ideology really is, whether you're an anarchist or a Democrat or a Republican, politics plays a part in, even albeit a small one, in your daily life. So
that's true.
Oh, it is a clown show. And I think, regardless of who just goes out and just says, what, society is a good show and I don't want to be a part of it anymore. I think that is one of the main reasons why people do this, is because they're tired of politics. They're tired of listening to it every single day and being told what to do and how to do it and when to do it. And, you know, you've got to pay more taxes. You got to have this piece of paper to do this. And I mean, I think people just get tired of it on a daily basis. And that's what's pushing me more and more. You know, I got a few years yet where I'm at. And then, man, I'm the wife and I are set because we both have the applicable skills necessary to just go get a raw piece of land and start everything from like nothing, you know, turn things back to the 18th century, you know, and I would be completely okay with it. You know, I've reached that age. I'm in my early 40s now. I've been all over the world. I've gone to college. I've, you know, seen and done things all over the nation, all over the world. I've seen things, done things. I'm done doing that kind of stuff, and, you know, would be absolutely happy to just live on 50 acres of like nothing and have no neighbors and wake up and go, has society collapsed yet? You know, and just not be able to just not care, you know, because everything that I need and want and desire is on that plot of land that would be mine, you know.
Yeah.
You know, that is the American dream. You know, some people grind and grind and grind to live in a gated community and drive a nice 4-door Mercedes and SUV and send their 5 kids to an Ivy League college while building their entire personality around the political spectrum or their favorite sports teams or stuff like that. You know, 20 years ago, if you would have asked me, that's what I would have said. Now, totally different. Totally different.
Oh yeah.
5 years ago, if you guys would have ran across Bandit, he would have probably had a MAGA hat and been talking about Republicans voting the right person in.
It would have been a little bit farther out than that. I had become radicalized into the you know, anarchism about 6-7 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
And then he ran across me, and I just completely ruined him.
Years ago, yeah, probably 5-6 years ago. I was a Republican. You know, God rest that guy's soul.
I'm sorry.
Because my parents were. You know, I didn't really know anything about it. I just said, "Oh, I'm a Republican," you know, without actually understanding the whole thing. And then a cousin of mine introduced me to libertarianism, and I was libertarian for like 6 months. And then I went, "This is ridiculous, man," and I became anarchist. And I understand more about the anarchist lifestyle and what it really means to be an anarchist and what the real meaning is, and put more thought and research into it than I ever did the 30 years I was a Republican, you know?
Yeah.
Nice.
So I want to reel this back actually into like some of the homestead stuff. What is the most challenging thing you two have run across since you started this venture, you think?
Oh man.
I think there's been a lot of things, but the weather out here, I know we were talking about it, it's so not sporadic, but you just don't know what you're going to get. Like it can change on a dime out here, especially in the summer when storms roll in and the winds, you get like 50, 60 mile an hour gusts, and you just got to make sure things are tied down and hope you're there to do it. Like just dealing with the weather change and what we can and can't do has been interesting and quite a challenge. But what do you think? What about?
No, I was definitely going to agree with you on the weather. I mean, when we first came out here to see if we could live out here, it was a July before we actually moved out here, which was in October, November.
It's been a year,
something like that. And when we were here just looking around, we literally just sat in the car by the park, and this huge weather cell just came in, just like winds buffeted the truck that we were in, and just storm just came pouring on us in like, I don't know, 30 minutes. It was gone. We were like, wow, can we live in a place like this?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, we can live in a place like this. We'll be fine.
Yeah, that's one thing that the first thing that came to mind. But yeah, just that, and I don't know, just trusting that the animals know what they're doing and that they will tell you if they need anything. And they do. Like if you pay attention and connect with your animals, I know it sounds silly, but
No.
talk with them. Yeah, I'm sure you guys understand.
Yeah.
Talk with them, understand them, watch their little, mannerisms, what certain sounds mean and how they react, and just learning that too, and trusting that and your intuition has been a big thing.
What breed of chicken are you guys dealing with?
Oh man,
we have 3 or 4 actually.
Buff Orpington, Barred Rock, Rhode Island Red, and we have a golden laced Wyandotte.
And she came to us as a free chick that we got with our meat birds. Nice. It was just a thing they included. So we didn't know what it was going to be. And she grew into this beautiful hen she's
gorgeous.
Has the best personality, and
she follows you around.
Yeah.
And she likes to be picked up and petted. And she really likes human interaction, very much so.
Yeah.
We had a Polish chicken, a Polish hen.
Those are awesome.
Those are amazing, but it didn't survive very long because our other chickens were mean ass bitches. But she was the type of hen that would immediately greet you outside. It would come right up to the door of the pen and just like, hey, are you gonna pick me up and carry me around today?
That's cute. I love that.
Yeah, that was. But you get, I think the thing that is so good with chickens is that they look to you, they will follow you around, and they get into a routine, and they expect you out there at a certain time of the day. They'll be waiting for you. And it really does. There is a soothing aspect to having farm animals, whether it's goats, hogs.
Dude, I could just sit there and watch the goats eat hay all day. Like, I'll be real with you. I could just sit there and watch that. Like, it's just the best.
And listen to them. There is a calming aspect to that, especially if you have a really nice garden like I do. You can sit out back and just enjoy. What's up, Kel?
What's up, Kel?
You can sit out there and enjoy, the fruits of your labor.
Yeah, and yeah, Bandit. It's so funny you mentioned routine. The chickens have started venturing over to us every morning as we're eating breakfast, and we'll just hear knocks on the door. And they've been coming to us every morning around the same time. As soon as I start eating breakfast, they're like, nope, let's interrupt, and knock on the door. And I open it, I say hi. I'm like, all right, hey, I'll bring you some greens later, just thanks for coming by. And then I'll close the door. But this has been consistent for like a week now.
Man, no, they get super consistent on their like habits. They're very habitual animals. Like you will have them so trained that eventually it'll turn into them training you, because they're going to make sure that you're on time for that, whether it's letting them out or putting water in their thing, or like mine are good about being ready to go right before the sun comes up out of the coop to get out and run around. And as the sun's going down, the rooster does a very good job at gathering every chick and getting them back into the coop before the end of the night. And that's a lot of chicks. Like, I mean, I can make a round in the middle of the night. I'll probably see 1 or 2 that flew up into a tree that didn't make it back into the coop before it closed up. But it was never really a worry. The worst thing I had was an owl that is a duck murderer. I don't know what it is about this owl, but it loves to scoop up ducks. It doesn't scoop up anything else. It takes ducks. And I was like, no, I can't be seeing that. I'm crazy. And then I witnessed it one night and I was like, no, I'm not crazy. Like, the owl is totally taking these ducks. So
it tastes good.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I can't argue with them. I did want to, the folks at home, of course, are all familiar with our buddy here that's part of the show. This is our other co-host, Kel. I'm glad he actually could finally join in with us. Kel, this is Legs and Buffalo. They're
hey, Legs, Buffalo.
Hello.
Nice to meet you. That was great.
You're okay, bud? They're it's it's a little hard to tell, but me and Kel are twins. Like we're totally
Yeah,
twins.
absolutely.
Yeah, like
Absolutely.
that's my brother over there, man. He's a good guy. He's down in Florida. He's still in kind of the city life himself, but I know he's got the same aspirations as the rest of the folks that are out here with us and wants to end up on his own little chunk of land doing his own thing too, probably with the rest of us. We all discuss it all the time, saying that we all just need to gather together and build our own community. Because at this point, that's the best thing I think any of us could really do is build an opposite to the crumbling current one. Like, that's something we talk a lot about on here. Some of our show sponsors and our friends that come on here that we've dealt with are all people building a better tomorrow. They're trying to become either more self-sufficient or build an alternative option to things. I got a really young, super intelligent young man he's now a regular on the show, and he lives close to me, but he has made a machine out of a microwave that turns plastic into gas. And it works. Like he did a live stream the day that he got it to work inside of a like a weed eater or whatever. And like this, it's stuff like that that's the future, because this is something you could build in your own yard. And I'm gonna give a shout out to Julian, because he's now 19, but he was an 18-year-old kid that did all of his own studying. He is self-educated and built this machine and figured out how to he's even doing the distilling part of it so that he can make it into either clean gas or diesel.
Holy cow.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
We're talking gas to power vehicles and generators. What kind of gas?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Nice.
Well, what he does is he's what he really wants to do with this is ocean cleanup, landfill cleanup, just cleanup in general because of the amount of plastic. He's actually taken food waste and done the same thing.
And created natural gas out of food waste.
Out of microwaves. He harvested microwaves out of the I don't know what you call it. I'm not the technical type.
It's his microwave pyrolysis machine, and he feeds it, whether it's plastic or true matter. Now he's learned that with food waste that he could create. He learned with food waste he could create natural gas. With computer chip waste, he can create diesel, and with all day average like plastic bottles and jugs and stuff like that, he's turning it into, as he is quoted, plastiline. And
Nice.
and it does work. Like he's finally tested it on a live actually, and had like 5 million viewers, and he put it inside of a weed eater and a lawnmower, and the stuff fires right up. It's beautiful. And as somebody that's into the homesteading community ideas like you guys are, I think that's an amazing, to me personally, I thought it's an amazing thing. Like, it'd be great to be able to take some of that plastic trash that I can't really do anything with or don't need to repurpose at the time, and have something that I could make some gas for the house, for the generator with, or for, just backup or something. It'd be good to have. I'm sure you guys, I'm blessed. There's not a store too far from the house, but like my work partner, for example, the closest store to his house is like 12 miles. And
nice.
That's the closest gas station. And so, if you're in a situation and you can't make it those 12 miles to get gas, well, you're in trouble. And I think something like that at home would be amazing. And he made it out of scrap microwaves. And now that me and him are buddies or whatever, I've been like, hey man, anytime you need more microwave parts, you just come to me, because we got a whole junk truck full of them.
Right, JB, tell him KellKell said to not publicize right now until he critique everything, because they invented
Luis has actually got him hooked. Luis actually got him hooked up with some mainstream people that are doing this on a larger scale, like out of Sweden or something. Like, this is innovative and worried, because me and Bandit have felt the same way about this, and asked Julian how he felt about being so innovative. And since they're actually doing it on a mainstream level, he's smarter than any of them that are there, and he's about to show them how to do it. Like,
nice.
like he's about to be something important, I think. But stuff like that, really gets back to me. And I'm not trying to. We've ventured off into so many different things. And that's how the show rolls. I do apologize if anybody's off about it, But I did want to go back when we were talking about the hardest thing you've come across. Now, I wanted to ask you, what was something that you thought was going to be super hard into homesteading, but it turned out you could do it without even trying?
Oh boy, that is a great question.
I know what it is for you.
Water bath canning.
It's like
pretty much everything I've been avoiding.
Preserving food, like preserving food in general.
So you avoided it, and then it turned out you could do it.
I was so like worried about not doing it right and botulism and getting people sick from doing it and from not doing it right, and it's just so easy to do. I mean, you're boiling this thing in a glass that, depending on what you use, for hot water bath canning, mostly acidic foods is what you're going to want to steer towards. But it's so easy. It's so easy to do, and I love doing it. It's a lot of work. Like, don't get me wrong.
Oh, the prep work is crazy.
It's crazy prep work, but I canned a bunch of apples. We have a couple of apple trees on the property. I canned pretty much all the apples from both those trees, and then before that, I didn't can any of those. I just turned those into pie. But
that's good.
Yeah, we have a plum tree on the property. I canned some of those plums, and I can't wait to taste those again because those are amazing.
They're great.
But that's one thing. Food preservation.
What about you, Buffalo? Was there anything that you procrastinated on and then turned out you were pretty good at it?
Yeah, I guess like putting shit together.
Yeah. Building shit.
Like our chicken run, we went the cheap route, and I was like, oh, I'll buy some Shamazon product that probably won't last. And it didn't. The first snow came down, and chicken coop, like, it collapsed on the chicken coop, but thankfully didn't kill any of the chickens. They were all good. So we had to demolish it and start from like nothing. So I looked up a couple videos and I saw some plans, but I didn't know what I needed to do. And I basically, I don't know, I just bought a bunch of 2x2s, some pressure treated 2x4s, and I put together a run that literally sits over top of the coop.
It's an A-frame.
It's an A-frame run. And now we don't have, snow's not a problem because it just slips right off of it. And I mean, I guess I'm okay at putting stuff together.
Yeah, he built this thing and it worked out. And
your best friend is pallet wood.
Oh yeah.
You can build a chicken. You will need nothing else. Only pallets. I built my chicken coop out of free pallets, and it houses 8 chickens. That's your best friend. Some chicken wire, some tea stakes, and free pallet wood.
Where can one acquire pallet wood?
Oh, so
where? I mean, what you need to do. Okay.
This is why you need to find some of them groups on Facebook and that we were talking about, these farm groups.
You just go ask. You just go ask, like your Tractor Supply, Rural Kings, Farm and Fleets, Fleet Farms, any of your Tractor Supply feed stores,
right?
Any places like that, Lowe's, Home Depot. Go ask them. Usually they'll have the huge roll-off dumpsters out back that will be full of pallets that they are sending to the dump, and ask them, hey, can we get 5, 10, 20? And believe it or not, this is not people like put a stigma on this, but in certain places, we'll throw away perfectly good stuff. Check up your state laws about dumpster diving and whether or not it's legal. And 9 times out of 10, believe it or not,
good advice, Bandit.
As long as there's no trespassing sign and it's not locked, and you can actually just go get pallets for free.
That's a good idea. I forgot what I was listening to, some homesteading podcasts, but the gentleman was talking about going to local restaurants and talking to them about any extra food waste that they have, and you can use that to feed your animals, your chickens, your hogs. making friends with your local restaurant
and your grocer. If you can make friends with your produce manager, he is going to have so much waste for you, and it's quite amazing. I'm definitely somebody that pushes that. Back to the finding pallets on the marketplace too, though. I found a fellow down here in my area. I don't know where he's getting them from or what kind of gig he's running, but he sells them to me for $1 a pallet.
Oh, you can't beat that.
And every time I get him to come see me, I'm like, I need $40 worth of pallets, and I still, I tip the man because I'm just like, dude's bringing me 40 pallets, and he'll even unload them and stack them for me, and I'm just like, well, here's another 40 for doing it for me. Like, I appreciate that, but like, still that's still $2 a pallet, and that's way underpriced compared to everybody else. And some of them might be missing a slat or two, but like, okay, we can work with that. And he's right though, like the pallet wood, that stuff saved me so many times.
Or not will be a term called upcycling, not necessarily recycling, but upcycling, taking something that was previously something else and using it for something totally not what it was designed for, or taking something that most people would be like, this is broken, I'm gonna throw it out, figuring out, can I use this? Can I use something off of this for something else that I need? That is going to be one of the best things that you can get used to doing in a situation like that.
Oh yeah, for sure. We've reused and used it over and over again, scrap wood that was been like laying around here from construction projects. And we used some of the scrap wood in the A-frame that we put together. I think the only reason why we went out and got some new stuff was just because all the scrap wood we had is just terribly, terribly warped. It's been exposed to just terrible weather from last winter and then the start of this winter. So it's like, okay, let's start fresh with something. I mean, it costs virtually what, it's actually cheaper than building a coop, but we put it over top of the current coop. So now we technically have a coop over top of the coop. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the other coop that's actually inside, take that out of there in the spring. That's going to be for a new flock of chickens. And this one, we're going to build nest boxes and make it all nice and good for this flock. And they'll just have a bigger, more open coop. So now we've upcycled the old one and we've repurposed it for the new flock, and we'll put a run around that one, and it'll, we'll build that flock up. We want to kind of breed those chickens because they're going to be a different kind of, breed. But yeah.
No, I totally get that. I got lucky and had one of those metal carports on the property and turned it into a giant chicken coop.
Nice.
I built walls around it with pallets and just scrap wood, and then took a bunk bed frame and altered the bunk bed frame to hold car tires, and that was like where the chickens slept, and they also laid in all the car tires. That is
so cool.
Their nesting boxes were car tires, and because like when I moved on, this was one of those deals that I moved on a piece of property that you get it how it comes, and the grass was taller than me, and I started finding we brought a whole ass tractor out there to clean up the yard around the house, and we had to stop every 10-15 foot to move cinder blocks or tires or Lord knows what, trying to get this place cleaned up.
Wow.
Yeah. And like, but I was just like, well, I don't, I got this pile of trash, but a lot of this stuff you can't really just throw away, so I was like, how can I reuse it? And that's the chickens even had a tire swing hanging from inside there, like, and I wanted to build another section though, like so section it off to get just breeding chickens. I want to do like a specific breed and keep that breed going just for like the sale of breeding chickens or for that specific kind of egg, not mixed in with everything else, because Lord knows that Rocco loves all of his 100-something ladies. So
if everybody, it's just strange how this was the norm at one time until the Rockefellers, everybody set up the system of working in factories for money. This was normal, what we're talking about now. But now today is taboo.
How do you think our grandparents made it through the Great Depression? They were living off of the stuff they had.
Yeah. And was more healthier,
Yeah.
more healthier. Lifespan was longer, less dentists, no cancer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Totally.
Like,
Totally.
you guys are into, I've seen on, of course on your website as well, which you guys, again, that are out there listening and watching, you know that I'll have the links for you to get back and find these guys. But I'd seen where you guys were talking about, like connecting back to nature and spirituality and stuff. And these are also aspects that we get into over here on our show as well. Like KellKell is definitely one of my spiritual specialists, and he's introduced me to quite a few people that I've had on the show to talk about that kind of stuff. And I'm married to a witch, so I totally understand.
And that's
Witch with a W, yeah, that's a positive thing. Like witch with a W, not the B word. She really is a witch though. Like I tell people all the time, and they look at me funny, and I'm just like, no, that's a good thing though, because like she knows how to take all of these different herbs and plants and fruits and mix them together properly and heal whatever you got going on. Like we have 3 kids, and sure, just like anybody else with kids are walking disease-filled little monsters, and yeah, and they're constantly sniffling, constantly coughing, yada yada yada. But like, they'll be the first ones to go up to the playground and bring something back from school kids. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah, absolutely.
And but we don't worry about it here. Why? Because mom can make us an awesome tea. That's not a problem. Like the problem goes away, and people don't seem to understand that a lot of the things you go buy in the store are literally just Band-Aids. Like they're just there to mask a symptom, to cover up your sniffy nose, to suppress your cough or whatever.
Treat it.
Yeah, where this tea cancels the problem. It gets in there and makes a big difference and stuff. And then on top of that, I like to see in the connection back to the spirituality aspects of that, because she's big into that aspect of things too. And on top of doing your tea and stuff, you need all your stuff aligned, all your spiritual chakras alignments. And I've always been a fighter myself when it comes to, I guess, sick or the flu or anything like that. Like I'm being around animals and stuff like that. It's never really been a problem, but it's always good to have her in the back corner with her stuff. And that's, I was blessed to have come across her again in my life and, be together or whatever, because she has a lot of these
my sister.
Yeah. She has a lot of these same thoughts that, a lot of people else do. Everybody's just like, oh, it's a crazy rock crystal lady that's talking about astrology. And it's just like, yeah, but not the astrology that you think, bro, because Western astrology is garbage. Like, like what we have is tainted nonsense, and the stuff that she gets into really makes a difference. Like it goes to show you how all of that old world stuff that people are like, oh, we're technologically advanced past that, is really the better route at the end of the day.
It is a better route.
The more connected you are to Earth, the better it seems to go.
And longevity. And Jay, when I was younger, growing up in the 70s, when I got a cut, Grandma told me, boy, go get some of that spider web. Underneath my auntie's house was a lot of spider webs, right? And I would get a bundle of it and spin it on a stick, and Grandma would take it, and that's the Band-Aid. And it stopped the bleeding too, right? And I had the fever real bad, that none of the medicine that Mama was giving me. Grandma say, Jean, my mama name was Grandma Jean. She said, Jean, take him to the bathroom. They took me to the bathroom. I was so weak, right? Grandma said, make him piss on his rat. Urine therapy. You could drink it too, and it's healing. I know it sounds bizarre. Please research it before you think I'm crazy. They washed my face with my own urine on my rag and put me back in the bed. When I woke up the next morning, that fever had broke, bro. Mm-hmm. So just those experiences when I was younger, the home remedy thing with the natural earth, and even the Bible say, drink water from thy own cisterns. All right, it's a passion. So that got me intrigued as I grew up about home. And I'm gonna tell you something, it's vanishing. The techniques that the older people have by nature that they ain't putting in books and passing down through the generations, we're losing that knowledge. So we must grab it every chance we get, because that's what the pharmaceutical business is. What they want. They want us to forget about the natural healing. And you're right, JB. It's more healthier for the human body to use stuff that's out of the earth. There's certain teas that can cure a headache. You know.
I met a Argentina woman. I used to live. She used to live up on the hill above me. She was 102. She died 3 days after her 103rd birthday. And I asked her one day because I used to go sit on the porch with her and smoke weed with her, because she was a very big advocate for smoking a joint. And I love sitting with really older people and listening to their stories and listening to the things that they have to say. And I asked her one day, I said, so 102, how'd you make it this far? And she straight up told me that a shot of whiskey and a joint a day is the reason that she's made it this far.
Yeah.
She found the secret.
I do have a question.
You know what my grandma gave me for like a tonic, Jay, when I was sick, on my dad's side? A shot of like liquor, honey, and lemon juice. That concoction right there. And I was a baby, you know.
If I ever feel a scratchy throat, that's my first go-to.
Yeah.
Bandit, you said you had a question?
What do you have any, like, because I have a problem. I was just surfing your Instagram. Do you have any secrets to your sourdough starter?
Oh my gosh. Okay. The starter.
Mine has died.
Okay, mine did not work out.
8 of the 9 times I've done it.
Okay, I started it. This was my first go at attempting a starter, and it did not work out. And I think it was because of the temperature issue, and it was just too cold.
Room temperature.
Just the room temperature. I think it wasn't warm enough, and I need to keep it near some kind of heat source. It was suggested to use, those growing mats that are heated that you can put seedlings on. You could put your starter on that.
I've got a heating mat that can go in. We used to have a bearded dragon. Oh,
you can try. Someone told me to try that, and I have yet to do it. But I'm also going to weigh things out and do it properly instead of just kind of estimating. Yeah.
You got heat lamps too that you can set the timer to.
I think heat. I've got a couple of heat lamps that we used for the chicks and the baby ducklings. Those get way too hot.
This is why you were talking about that, wasn't it? I found it.
And as soon as I saw that, I'm like, I have got to ask them, because I am an avid baker. I know I am an avid baker. I can bake anything and I can cook anything. And I am.
The pictures of the bagels he made me want to drive 7 hours just to go get a bagel.
Oh my gosh.
Bandit, I remember that. Bandit, I remember that.
My soft twist pretzels.
Oh my gosh.
My pizzas are amazing. Yeah, man.
Nice.
But see, that is something that you have to nurture if you expect to get out and get there and do these kind of things. You have to know how to cook with natural ingredients. You have to know how to cook the old way, and if you want to get away from that highly processed food that they're poisoning you with. I'm even like I've dry canned and water bath canned like anything we can get our hands on. Flour is like a commodity that, like, bought at the store, is not designed for long-term storage, believe it or not, is especially in like the wrong temperatures and stuff like that. But on the other hand, on the flip side, you can buy wheat berry which in turn you can store long term and grind it as you go. And it is actually, I've heard, if you bake a lot of bread and stuff like that, it is actually better to grind it yourself, because when they bleach it, whether you buy unbleached or bleached, a lot of that nutrients that is in the grain is gone when they grind it at like the industrial level. So if you grind it at home yourself, you still retain all of that for the bread if you bake it.
You guys,
Bandit, I got a question for you right quick, Bandit. Like, I recently found out that the cooking oils, a lot of it wasn't healthy and not pure at all. What type of cooking oil
terrible for you?
Recommend?
beef tallow.
Heard that. Okay, all right. Say that again. I'll get that from you later on, JB. What name? Say it again.
Beef tallow.
Yeah, beef tallow isn't bad for you, but vegetable oil here and there isn't bad for you. It's when you get into like canola oil is terrible for you.
I didn't know that till recently.
And I think even grapeseed oil and canola oil are bad for you. Avocado oil is really good to cook with. Olive oil is good to cook with, but canola oil is if you can steer clear of any of the oils, canola oil is the one you want to steer clear of.
The most, yeah.
We cook
chicken fat.
I was going to say we cook with nothing but butter, grass fed, like raw butter. We're fortunate enough to have that.
You know, they did a good job there tricking everybody and telling everybody that fat was doing to us what sugar did to us.
Yeah. Butter. We stock up on butter. Like anytime that there's a sale on it, we'll buy it. And if we can't, it's actually now it's cheaper to buy like your heavy cream and separate it yourself, which I have done and I love to do, because then I can make like a garlic butter. I can make my herb garden this year did phenomenal. So I've got I can do rosemary basil butter.
His name fleets me right off the top of my head, but it's a older dark-skinned fellow that and it's not Dr. Seavey, but it's a guy that's kind of like him. But he
got long hair.
He does have long hair.
Was it Dr. Africa? Is it Dr. Africa?
It might be Dr. Africa, but I just remember in an interview he was talking about how in modern times we don't really deep fry anything anymore. We just boil it in oil, because to deep fry it you've got to like actually have like the animal fat, like the lard or something, to actually be able to deep fry something. And you know, I'm big into doing like the old school stuff like that too, as far as trying to avoid the seed oils. A recent thing that I've found in the past year that I've been trying to bring awareness to is coffee creamer. There are so few coffee creamers that are actually made with cream. So many of them are made with oil.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you are just drinking oil. You are just drinking flavored oil. And it's messed up, because that's, you know, the change to doing the seed oils, not only there, but like your potato chips and stuff like that are all cooked in these seed oils now, because it's supposed to be safer, but that's what's making us sick. And I have seen visually myself people that turn back to earth for their food, know where their source is coming from, whether it's doing it themselves or sourcing into local farmers, get rid of not only cancer, but made diabetes not a thing anymore, and other ailments that were you know ailing them. You know, like people don't realize that if you having a stench when you're working from sweating, that's actually that's not good. That's a cause for attention. Yeah, that's a cause for attention, and that's a health issue. And when you really get to the root of it, 99%, and I'll say this, I don't care, but 99% of America's health issues are rooted in the garbage on the shelves.
That's by design. That's the attack. We at war.
Oh,
and they're
sure.
taking us to our
Sure,
schools.
sure.
It's a silent war now.
Me and Bandit talk about this. He pointed this out to me, and I never really took it into aspect until he pointed it out. But when you do actually go into a grocery store, the thing on the stuff on the outside are closer to real than anything down those aisles. Everything down those aisles have
Aisles are the quickest access. Right when you walk in the front door, everybody shoots through the aisles real quick to get out of the grocery store, and they're not buying food.
Yep. And I seen where a guy pointed out to me. He said that it's a brain cell challenge for every ingredient you can't pronounce. It's killing a brain cell.
Yeah.
And you kill that many brain cells depending on the ingredients.
If you didn't think about it, next time you go into a grocery store, whether whatever grocery store you decide to visit, and I think you have to go to a major chain one, but take go through the center and then go along the outside wall and compare what you're buying. It really is. People want it's the and I was like, Fight Club is the best when it comes to stuff like that. Everything is single serve. Everybody is so quick to just buy single serving everything. They want convenience of like, I don't want to cook tonight. I want to throw something in the oven, and
water put in the microwave instant.
Throw it into the oven, not realizing what they're actually doing to themselves,
And cooking on nonstick pans.
Oh my God.
Because people don't know how to cook on stainless steel.
People don't know how to cook on cast iron.
Oh, cast iron. People don't know how to season cast iron anymore. People don't know how to take the time to preheat a stainless steel.
Don't wash my cast iron in your dishwasher. I will get you.
Man, I'll kill you if you. Man.
I tell you, like, when I was younger, I grew up in South Florida in a town called Lake Placid, Florida. Orange groves, mangoes, sugarcane, pineapples, all this is like a paradise, right? The oranges don't taste the same today as they once did now. So, like, I recommend all the listeners and everybody on the panel, you already know this, but collect the seeds. Get the oranges that got seeds and save seeds. You feel me? They don't want us to save seeds, but they are saving the seed. They got a seed bank vote.
Banks. Multiple.
On the fridge. I think I've got about 200,000 seeds.
How did your grapes turn out this year, buddy?
I didn't really collect this year. I kind of let my grapevine go to seed. But they did well. They finally it fruited really nice this year, but I kind of let it go. Gonna collect next year though. But
is it hard getting the Is it hard getting them to sprout? Is it hard getting them to?
You have to when you grow a grapevine, it'll get to a size to where you think it's gonna flower out and produce grapes, but it takes 10 years for a grapevine to mature enough to produce fruit.
And we're talking about the scuffleline, the big grapevine.
We moved into the house, and I didn't discover the grapevine until I started clearing, because they let their garden overgrow, and it was really disappointing. They let their garden overgrow and everything just go to waste. And I cleared out everything, and I'm like, what is this? They let it grow on the fence. They didn't build an arbor or a pergola or anything like that. They just let it grow on a chain link fence. And I cleared it away, and I'm like, oh my God, I've got a grapevine. I got to do something about this. So I built an arbor. Yeah, I guess I've been an arbor. I built an arbor for it. And man, when it hit the sunlight, the year after I cleared the fence line, it hit the sunlight and just overtook. And it took a few years to bear fruit, but yeah, they're the real tart. It's got the sweet skin, but the tart inside, and it's got seeds. So I think we'll be making next year.
Which you were pointing out the seeds, Kel, and we're talking about that with the seeds, but like I implore you folks out there listening and watching, and anybody else that's here even on the episode today, next time you are in the grocery store, find the seeds, find the grapes with seeds in them. Good luck.
Yeah, they really are. It's hard to find.
Oranges too. Oranges
Really,
too.
you're not lying. It really is hard.
And there is points to that and stuff, and I've always seen where they're talking about making things, seedless and stuff like that, and it's for your safety and blah blah blah, and it's like, no, dude, like that is not for my safety. Like I've never understood how do you get fruit that comes from a seed that doesn't produce, that don't have seeds. Like how like what factory are you making this in, bro? Because there's no way that you're growing this somewhere.
And it's strange, they how they were subsidizing the farmers to not farm.
Oh yeah.
The government was subsidizing the farmers to not farm, brothers and sisters.
What was that, Bandit?
Well, no, when they make things seedless, or the seeds that do come from like fruits and veggies, they make them sterile.
Mm-hmm.
Like they'll make it so that you can't grow. But that's why one of the reasons why they're doing that is they're taking your ability to grow stuff away from you.
Absolutely.
Good luck. Nature always prospers. That is with all the stuff we've talked about, and I know there's always bad in the world. I do like to point out two things. One, humans have been through a fuck ton of stuff if you go through history. And if it's one thing I can say is that they always prosper in the end, regardless of the tyrannical measures put on them, regardless of the hell and brimstone that's thrown at them, humans still come out triumphant in the end. And number two is that nature always wins. They can try all they want, but I promise you that dandelion's still going to sprout through the concrete. They're
going to prolong. That's all. They can't stop.
Yeah, you can impose on it, but look how quick nature takes back over. As I travel a lot, and installing appliances, you see a lot of new builds, and you pass a lot of old builds, and you can tell when something's been abandoned. When you're just riding down the road, because look how quick nature takes that piece of property back over, and that I think is an amazing thing, because at the end of the day, with all the worries in the world, I can at least go to bed and know that it's cool. We're gonna have another shot at this again. And
I challenge you, Jay. Next time you see something like that, don't see it with your eyes. Feel it. Yeah. When you see it's art. I mean, it's so beautiful. I can't explain it, but when you feel something, nature taking back over something and claiming it, I can't even put it in words, but I can feel it, and it's beautiful. It's a sign of like decay and growth at the same time. It's like a paradox, but at the same time, for us conscious seekers, conscious truth seekers, it's beautiful because like we know we need the earth. They cut down trees to make lumber yards. Like we don't need trees at all, to sell wood. They don't preserve. I don't even know if they plant what they're taking back. You're supposed to plant X amount of trees. But I want to make this point, Jay, before I stop this point, right? Yeah. Whatever we're doing, and everybody on the panel, I love what y'all doing because I'm learning information from you guys. Don't forget to put the healing thought into whatever you're doing. That's right. The chicken coop, and don't forget to put the healing thought into the chicken coop. Bandit, your bakery, don't forget to put the healing thought into it, feel me? Because that activates whatever we're doing and blesses it and heals your body. Also, the thought planning into whatever you're doing, whether you're building a chicken coop, you put that thought into it, the chicken's gonna prosper. Because we are the healers, and our mind activates. Everything's activated by mind.
Love it. I love it, Kel. No, that's right.
That's true.
I always whisper into my drink of water or milk before I take a drink, and as I'm cooking, I try to make sure I'm in a good mood. If I'm like off or I'm not feeling it, then I won't do it because I know my food is not going to taste as good. So I totally agree with that, 100%.
They don't make movies and commercials to tell us that anymore. You hardly ever see that about how powerful we are with our perception. They don't want us to know that. They want us to feel powerless. Take this. This is gonna heal you, and this is a placebo pill. You healing yourself.
What you got up there, Bandit?
What's up?
I thought you were about to say something, or were you talking to your munchkins in the background?
Yeah, it's my munchkins running around in the background.
I totally understand that. This I think this has been a fantabulous episode. I have really enjoyed you guys. I hope we didn't talk you guys to death, or I really hope you guys felt welcome on this one, because we really like you guys, and I do look forward to having you back on the show again, because this has been super awesome. You guys are my kind of people. So,
Awesome.
Oh man,
I did have one more question though before you got off. You made mention that you're around a lot of Mormons and stuff. Do you guys subscribe to the Mormon thing, or
No,
just out of curiosity?
No, I was born in the Mormon church, and I was baptized when I was 8. We stopped going when I was about 10. I have never gone back to Mormon church. I have no plans to go back to them, but they're very nice people, and I don't mind being neighbors with them. And a lot of my family is still Mormon, which is, that's cool too. If that helps them, I'm glad it helps them.
The Mormons and the Amish, I have never had a problem with, because they don't want to mess with nobody either. Like they might be into some interest and stuff that ain't for me, but like, more power to you. Like I agree with what you just said there. If that's what makes you feel safe about it, then hey man, go for it. I subscribe to the DMT creatures are totally the dudes that I talk to, and they're the guys with the right answers, and totally the same things that all the spiritual people were seeing throughout all the years. Like, as much as people don't want to admit it or even want to believe it, a lot of these spiritual stories and things that people talk about throughout the years were totally shaman type people tripping balls on some form of some kind of hallucinogen and had an epiphany. And I like, we advocate for that kind of stuff over here. I'm a very big advocate for mushrooms. If Luis was here, he'd go into a DMT spell right now, because he likes to talk about that and stuff too. And I'm not out here saying go out there and do tons of drugs, but I do feel that every now and then, every couple months or so, you totally need a mushroom reset. Like,
yes.
it does so great to eat some mushrooms and just go walk into the woods.
I said, not what goes in the man is out of man, right? But they don't believe in that. But then they go into a liquor store and buy what we call spirits.
Yeah, for sure.
You're right. No, you're right.
And it's altering, and it's like a possession,
What you got, Bandit?
Okay, so my only closing thought was, do you have any regrets about doing what you're doing? About leaving anything behind, anything you left behind? Do you regret doing? Do you have any regrets whatsoever?
No. If you asked me that question like a few months ago or before spring hit, I probably would have answered differently. But I've been working on that, and just I felt so guilty for the longest time for just leaving family behind, just completely dropping a career that I worked towards, just this 180 on my life. And I wasn't the same person. Like, towards the end of that, even before we left, I was not the same person. I just, different mindset, different goals. And some people did not understand that. And I kind of just let them be, not so much pushed them away. But with that being said, I had a lot of guilt with that. And I don't have any regrets.
Did you feel outcasted? Did it make you feel outcasted because of the 180?
Yeah, more so like, what's your problem? Like, you used to like these things and you just don't like them anymore. Like, almost like they were offended for some reason that I was a different person, and that the things I used to like, I just don't anymore. And yeah, and I couldn't have conversations with them anymore if it wasn't about, TV shows, what's on Netflix. And it just wasn't interested. I'm not interested in that anymore. So yeah, I worked on that, worked on myself. The understanding that it's okay to leave things and certain people behind if they're not going to service you anymore, in terms of just like pumping you up and having an open mind to new things in your life. And yeah, but I don't have any regrets.
Yeah,
not anymore.
There was a time that I was like, oh man, I really miss this burger place or this place, you know, like the
Mexican food.
the Mexican food, because I love Mexican food. I'm half Mexican. I know I don't look it, but man, I love Mexican food. But we have the best food now in our kitchen. And it's even better than even just going and getting like a burger from the Burger Shack here or whatever. I would much rather sit in our kitchen and eat a light meal than or a heavy meal. Sometimes she makes some really great pot pies, but
Nice.
I would love to eat our food rather than eat out somewhere, because I know it's going to enrich my soul. It's not just going to enrich my belly.
Yeah, because you get like you taste the fruits of your like what you put into it. You know, that's cooking is, you know, one of the most important things that as a family person you can do for your family is to cook. That is
100%.
Because like so many years ago, I didn't know anything about it, you know, and once I started getting like right down to it and like learning everything I could about it, I mean, your personality changes. It really does.
I agree.
Totally.
Yeah. I love it.
KellKell, you got any closing thoughts or questions you have?
No, man. I'm sorry. I really regret I came late, Jay, because I missed a great show here and great information. I'm just glad to be a part of it. I'm glad I did come on instead of saying, it's too late to come on. I jumped on them, and I'm glad I did, because it was enriching. Bandit, I didn't get the names again of
Legs and Buffalo.
Legs and Buffalo, and even JB and the inventors. This was very informal. I'm glad I did come on. I didn't have any closing thing. I just wanted to commend everyone about the information.
Well, I did want, before we close out and we get around to that stuff, and I want you guys to give some plugs and stuff. I had one more question that I'd like for you to actually explain. I think I already know the answer from hanging out on your site and stuff, but I'd like for you to totally explain this to the listeners and watchers. Where did you come up with Legs and Buffalo?
Oh, man. Do you want to go first and say where I got my name?
Yeah. Well, you go first, because it kind of leads into mine. Yeah.
Okay. Well, his name I gave him is Buffalo Rambler, and Buffalo because he appreciates that creature and just loves the buffalo. And then the Rambler part I kind of added to that because we were on a hike one day, beautiful Southern California, not so much near the ocean, but it was pretty close. Wonderful hike, and we got there early, sunrise. We took some mushrooms and went and climbed a peak, and it was just amazing. But the whole time, this man was just rambling, just talking. He would not.
I didn't shut the fuck up.
It wasn't anything bad, or it wasn't annoying. He just
kept on.
Yeah, he just had something to say. Yeah, and it was good stuff.
I felt everything. I needed to talk about everything and feel it all at the same time.
Yeah, so I was like, man, you're a rambler. You're a Buffalo Rambler, and it just stuck. That's where his name came from.
Hers is very similar. I was also on mushrooms. We were on a hike, and it was hot. It was actually pretty hot. So she was wearing shorts. She normally just, we wear like hiking pants or whatever. And she's got nice gams, So I was walking behind her, checking her out, and then I was like, "Hey, you got nice legs."
Go ahead, bro. Compliment.
Nice. I love it. No, that's great, you guys. And you guys know that I'll have all the great links to get back to these guys with this episode. If you guys don't mind, would you go ahead and plug your show and where everybody can find you at?
For sure. Yeah. We're False Reality Check. You can find us on all the podcast places, Spotify, Apple, all that kind of stuff. And we're on Instagram and Twitter at FRC Pod.
That's right.
And we lost our email account. We don't have access to it anymore. So we have a new one. It's falserealitycheck@protonmail. .com. Just send us, a nice email, or, the link tree is in our description for all of our episodes, and it's got our Telegram, all the ways that you can reach out to us. And we're hoping to get a website up soon, kind of like Patreon, but just our own standalone thing, and offer more content there.
But yeah, this has been great. We really appreciate y'all and having us on, and
like genuine conversation.
Yeah,
about cool shit.
Yeah, this has been. We'd love to come back if we're invited.
Absolutely.
We got to connect on our show too.
What's that, Bandit?
It's good to swap ideas, when we all have like lots of knowledge in just one subject, when we can all get together and just it's like a giant brainstorm, we just swap ideas.
Absolutely.
Tomorrow, I'm going to get out the heating mat, and I'm going to make a 10th attempt at getting a sourdough starter started. So
there you go.
That's a win for me, because if my wife knows one thing, it's like the nasty thing that is in the mason jar that has failed so many times. She gets frustrated every time I do it, and then it sits there and goes bad, and then me, even though I'm the one that does the dishes, I'll leave it open in the sink and just, I gotta get past.
Oh man,
I feel personally attacked by this relatable content.
Right.
Well, and of course, everybody out there knows that we'll have all those good links over there at our home for everything, unconstitutionalawakening.com. You guys make sure you get over there and check out everything that's there, everything with our guest tonight and past guests that we've had, as well as stuff with Bandit. Even KellKell's got a section going on there now. So we're trying to keep things fresh and up going as much as we can over there. And you guys know, before I sign out, I've always got to have a pirate joke for you guys for the evening. So what do you...
Jim Bob, let me tell you, this is just not a guy that's trying to get clout off of posting. This guy really helped me and my child when I reach out. You know what I mean? His brother is he's really a real human being. He's not just on the show trying to get recognition. When I reached out to JB a few times for my child, y'all understand me, because I'm a single dad on my own, he was there. So listeners and everybody on the panel, I just want to give him his accolades, give him his flowers right now on the show. He's a real one. He's a real person. I thank you, JP.
No, I thank you, Kel. I appreciate that, man. And like I said when you first popped up tonight, you're my twin brother. I don't care if anybody doesn't think we look alike.
They better look close now.
They better look close. That's right. But you guys know that I always sign out with something funny to leave it on with. So what do you call a pirate's sword that is completely blunt? A cutlass. You guys have a fantastic evening.